guys. Hello and welcome.
Hello.
Oh, I started the stream a little bit later. We've been Benjamin's been on a bit of a kick, so um, I'm live in the skidder out the landing still. Just pulling hitches to the loader, trying to get this job cleaned up. Benjamin, give him a lowdown.
I am live in the loader, loading a load of logs in the log yard.
Yes.
Yes. It's hopping today. It's beautiful out. It's like 60 degrees.
Yeah, about freaking time. Water's
Sun
running.
shining. Water's running. My
Yeah.
pond, my overflow pond's overflowing.
Yeah. Yeah, our ground's starting to dry up a little bit here out on the header.
Yeah. Spring is here, and I'm happy.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
got
needed.
what was it? Was it last night or the night before? We got a torrential downpour. Basically wiped all the salt off the road.
Yep, I saw a motorcycle out today.
Yeah. First motorcycle of the year I see today too. Yeah, so what comes with summertime, spring with you guys? What changes?
In the spring or any time of the year right now that it's warm, the sun's beating out a lot, the wood dries up quick. So summertime we have to start taking care of the logs, taking procedures to kind of preserve the wood so that it goes bad faster in the summer versus the winter. So summertime we have to tarp all the wood and rotate stock, like try to get rid of the oldest stuff, and then so on and so forth. You know, work your way from your oldest stuff to your newest stuff so that you're always trying to make sure you're getting rid of the stuff that's starting to get gray. You know what I mean? Because it's all going to turn gray when it sits out, and they don't want that. So trying to get rid of it as fast as we can and prevent it from going bad.
Doing the job that you do you see it a lot more often that like winter cut wood, which is froze, the sap's not running generally, but when it's cut, brought to y'all, is it a lot different than trees that are cut in the spring, summer, the moisture content, that type deal? Do you notice a huge?
Not really, because when it warms up, the sap comes out of the wood anyways. Like all that wood that's wintertime. I mean, you could tell a difference that you can feel. It's normally when you grab a piece of wood, the sap will come out of it when you're squeezing it. It'll come out of the end of it.
Yep.
And it doesn't do that in the wintertime as much, but like when it starts warming up, that wood that was from wintertime, it'll start, you can see it start running out the end of it.
Yeah, I know when I grab onto a hitch, I start seeing the logs start juicing like sponges.
Yep. Yeah, around here it's kind of like a mad dash to hurry up and get rid of the old stuff, get the new stuff covered up, and like if it's the really good stuff, good wood, we'll put wax on the butts of them to prevent it from staining in. So a lot of people, pretty much everywhere they use that. We have like a little Honda pump with like almost looks like a pressure washer kind of.
Okay.
And it just feeds off of a barrel. You just drive along with the trailer behind the pickup and spray wax on them.
Oh, so you just go right down the pile, eh?
Yeah, you just go down the pile and just spray wax and hope you don't break your neck.
Now, speaking of springtime trees, I was told that you do you've been dabbling with the sap a little bit, maple syrup.
Oh yeah, I haven't really in the last few years done it because I've been, busy here and busy logging and stuff. But when I was younger, I used to do it all the time.
What's the deal with that? That's something that living up here in the Adirondacks, a lot of people do the sugaring.
Yeah, see, like I wonder if there's like a certain line to where you can't do it through New York State anymore because like you get down south, it's like a different climate, and like Albany and stuff, like they've had no snow for months. Like I wonder if they can even sugar down there. I've never really asked that question.
Well, that's kind of why I'm asking. asking you about it a little bit because I know nothing about the process besides when it starts getting a little bit warmer. You got
Yeah,
cold
once we start
overnights.
getting those warm temperatures where the sap starts unfreezing in the root system of the tree and starts to move up and down the tree, that's when we'll do it. Like, you don't do it any later than when it, like, normally it's this time of year because it's cold at night and it's warm in the daytime. So that's what makes the trees run. But once it
Ah,
starts getting like it is right now,
mild.
consecutive days in the mild temperatures, the
Yep.
sap starts turning yellow. It's like souring basically.
Okay.
I always noticed it when we did it when I was younger. When you started finding critters in the sap, that's when it was getting ready to
Sour.
get it get done with, because
Yeah.
like it starts getting warmer and bugs and stuff start coming out. You start getting moths in the buckets and
Okay.
stuff like that, because
Yeah.
we
This
did it
is.
the old fashioned way. We did it with
Come on.
like 5-gallon stainless or galvanized containers on
Yep.
trees, like spouts on trees. We don't do any of the tubing or vacuum.
Yep. That's a whole different side. I mean, that's a whole different side of this. It really doesn't
Oh
pertain to
yeah,
logging, but it's something that I've always kind of
it's
been
more
interested
of
in.
like the way we did it was more of a hobby, I would say. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
weren't doing it to make a crazy profit. If you
Yeah.
wanted to do it
Production wise.
like full time, you got to get tubing and stuff like that. It's not feasible the way that we were doing it.
Yeah.
You're all set if you want to try that.
I just never understood the process.
Yeah, you too. Sorry.
He's a happy fella.
Oh yeah. No, I lost my train of thought there. Lost my train of thought. They were talking about sugar in there.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah, if you wanted to get more, like say every year I'm gonna do it, and like I want to make money off of it to put into it every year to keep expanding,
Yep.
you'd have to get the vacuum set up with all the tubing. It's the most efficient way because I could run the whole thing basically by myself. Like I know people that tap less trees than we did, and they were getting twice to three times the amount of syrup
Yep.
because they were able to process it faster with reverse osmosis. We didn't have an RO machine. The RO machine just condenses it down to a higher sugar content. It
Yep.
gets the water out of it and leaves you with a higher sugar content. So then you have less to boil, so you can boil it faster. You're not having to boil it as long to make syrup, so it just increases your speed. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You run everything, all your sap comes in from the trees outside. I don't remember exactly, don't quote me. I think it was like 1% sugar content. You're trying to concentrate that down, boil it down. So first it goes to that RO machine where that just sucks the moisture out of it, forces it through, I don't know, the RO process. I don't remember that well anymore how it works.
Yep.
Forces it through like membranes and it separates the water out of it. That'll give you like, I don't remember exactly. It was like 20% sugar content. So you could boil it in like a quarter of the time to make syrup.
Okay.
And then the people also use like propane or whatever. We always did the old fashioned way. We cut 4 foot on a splitter that would cut 4 foot long wood. And that's how we did it. Hand feed it into there all day long with a pair of chainsaw chaps on. Made for a long day.
No, well, like Ed actually brought it up to me the other day that you were dabbling with the sap. So I meant to ask you on the phone, but I figured it'd be a little bit of a topic too. I know it
Yeah,
doesn't have
just
logging, but
up
it's
there where
forestry
you guys
related.
were. Yeah, up there where you guys were logging, that's where my family does it. And they're doing it right now. Like, but it's hard for me because I don't live home anymore,
Yep.
to get
Yep.
up on the weekend. If I lived home, I'd probably do it every weekend with my kids
So
because it's a good workout.
what's the what is the difference between soft maple, hard maple, sugar maple? Can you get syrup out
I
of the soft and hard?
Yeah, they'll both I don't know the exact behind it. I feel like
Okay.
there was like more sugar content to like the hard maples or something, but it's all the same when you boil it
Okay.
down. I
Okay.
think like the sap or something had a little bit higher. That's why they call them like sugar maples or something. But you can with both. It doesn't really matter.
I know, like here in the yard, our hard maples turn an orange,
No.
and our soft maple is turning all the puddles, all the pools we have black. So
Well,
I
yeah,
just,
because hardwood gives off when it's decomposing or it's sitting in water, it
yep,
gives off acid. So that's why, like, if you take chips, like if you took chips and wanted to, like, oh, I'm gonna put chips in my garden and stuff like that, it will kill everything if it's hardwood. That's why people use cedar because it doesn't really, cedar like will kill all the weeds and stuff like that.
yep,
The
yep,
hardwood will pretty much kill everything. It'll turn black and slippery like, rotten wood,
yeah,
and it'll
absolutely.
just kill everything. Like you're better off to not use chips because I've seen it done. Somebody did that and it killed everything and we had to clean them all up.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's why
hardwood has some
generally,
sort of acid that it gives off for decomposing that it'll leave. You can see like rainbow or like it just gives off when it sits in water. I don't know how to explain it.
no, no, I,
I'm
I
not a
don't either.
not
And
a
that's why
chemist.
I figured I'd bring it up because I
Yeah,
didn't know if there was any balance between that. But like you said, cedar chips and usually hemlock stuff
yeah,
like that is what you generally would get, but you don't see the hardwoods. So
yeah. Because we've
that's
tried mixed hardwood chips before, right from a logging job in the woods. Because some people at a camp wanted chips in their for a walkway from their gravel driveway to the house. They're like, "Oh, we'll use chips
yeah.
or whatever." It's an eco-friendly way. You're just reusing a product from the woods.
Well, that's
But
good. That's good to
said,
know.
you know, it didn't work after 1 year. It like killed the grass all around it, all the grass and everything from it. Just when it rains, it was just leaching off and just kind of killing everything. And they got really slick. Like you couldn't even walk on them. It's like trying to walk on ice.
Yeah, that's awesome to know because I was thinking about doing chips in my garden this year, so I know to at
Yeah,
least do
don't.
a test bed of that.
Yeah, you could do that.
Huh. Oh, let me see. What have I got here?
But back to the sugaring though, the sugaring
Okay,
part
yep.
of it.
You got more
Like,
about it?
yeah, like I know that forest like mills and stuff, nobody will buy wood that was used on a for tapping trees because it's kind of I don't know how to put it. You're kind of ruining your wood at the same time because you're just poking a bunch of holes in it,
Yep.
and that's letting bacteria get in. I think it would make cool boards for something like a conversation piece. You know what I mean? If you wanted to make a bench or something like that.
Absolutely.
But as
Character.
far as the timber market goes, once you start tapping trees, they're no good anymore for a log. So that's why all of our trees that we used to tap, where we used to do it all the time, where we had our big sugar bush,
Yep.
they were all monstrous, huge, old trees and younger ones too. But nobody would ever be able to do anything with them now. Where they moved up to where you guys were working, that's where they
Yep.
started doing it now. And the timber company said, "Yeah, you can tap all the trees on the side of the road you want because they have to leave a buffer anyways.
Mhm.
So they're never going to be able to cut the trees." So they said, "Oh yeah, you tap them all down through there, 50, 100 yards into the woods." So that was a nice little deal they worked out. They
Figured out.
drive right down the county road right there with the pickup truck with the sap wagon, collect like that.
Is that the Thule Pond you're talking?
Uh, on the Conifer Road right there, that
Oh,
main
oh,
that
Conifer. Yep.
county road.
Yep.
They tap all that sides of the road all the way up the mountain and everything. They got permission to do it, so
Oh,
get
that's
all that
handy.
cream, easy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got anybody in here yet?
Um,
I saw one popped on earlier. I didn't know if anybody said anything. I have a hard time looking at
the chat is hard.
the
I mean,
chat because it times out. I'd rather it stay up.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
Now
I
the
don't care
God
if I see
rays
your
coming from
face.
your cab are right over the chat. So Specstar was in here. I don't know. I don't know why I can't see. He says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Bella?" I don't know if you're still in here or not, but
Oh, hi. It's hard for us to see the chat. It's just that's the one thing I wish they'd improve. Just when you hit it, it stays up.
yep, there should be a setting for sure, and it might be. I don't know. I haven't dug into it too much,
Yo.
but we are officially 2 hitches away from being done the wood behind me here. We've got 2 rows in front of the loader that are probably double the length
Yo.
this one was. So this lasted me a week, 4 days.
Yo.
So there's probably another 2.5 weeks in front of us,
Nice.
and then we should be ready to get back in the woods.
That'll be good. But it is nice to get a little time off in the springtime. I never minded getting a week off in the spring because it gives you time to, right now, especially if we got a little bit warmer weather, I'd be able to start raking the backyard. I still have a
Yep.
huge snowbank in my backyard.
Yeah, I've been pushing my snowbanks over every night with a tractor trying to get rid of them.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't have a tractor.
You ain't got your little 4-wheeler with a go-kart engine?
No, I deemed it too dangerous and scrapped it. I got sick of hurting my leg.
That's something you could talk about.
No, that's a
the
shed
death,
stream.
the death trap, eh?
The death trap.
That would be
I
cool.
caught my
We could
leg
do that
caught
on
in
the
that.
weekend.
Yeah, I got my leg caught in the clutch on it. Oh.
Oh man.
And I burn all the skin off my leg too. On the exhaust. Hey, it worked great for pulling firewood and pulling deer. So use what you have.
That's right. That's right. The frig was I was just getting ready. Yeah. So springtime, generally, guys, mud season. It's a time to basically let the woods kind of go through its cycle. Right now, it's water's coming off the mountain. It's going down the skid roads. Generally, if we have water coming off the hill as bad as it is, we'd put a couple water bars in to try to either contain the mud, but it kind of hit hard here. So they gave us a limited amount of time. So we tried to get all the wood we could off. But it could be anywhere from, like Ben said, a week to, I think last year was just about 2 months.
Yeah. It all depends. I mean, if it starts raining again,
yeah,
they're not going to go to work until they're good and ready because they don't want to, have to put money in the roads and chance water going into the river. And
that's the big thing here because we're following.
You guys have a nice landing and a nice road, so that you're fortunate enough to be able to work.
Well, they definitely built this with that in mind because everything's gravel, everything's it's good bony ground, so the water kind of goes through it nice.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. I mean, you can get in good. But now, why don't you explain like the whole what goes on differently in the summer there versus the wintertime?
I was kind of trying to go through that in my head, and the biggest thing that I can really say the difference is the wood's
What about
full.
the challenges?
The wood's
what
full.
About yeah?
It's heavy. It's green. It's lively. It catches everything. In the wintertime, the evergreens, them are they're the
paintbrushes of the trail.
Yeah, exactly.
They
will
clogged up with mud.
Grab everything. They smooth out your trail pretty good, but
see, I don't think you've ever skidded any oak. If you skidded red oak, their limbs break off and straight, and it's like pulling an anchor behind you.
Yep. Well, I mean, some of the yellow birches we have are absolute nightmares. But like we were saying, in the wintertime, especially when you got a buncher that comes in a week, sometimes even a month before the skidders get there, there's time for a heat and cold cycle, and the hitches freeze right into the ground, so stinking tight. So you've got that. Summertime, generally, it's all right going. I mean, you use a lot more corduroy.
Hmm.
The trails just get mealier, that type of deal. But
Yeah, they get blown out after so many driving over them, driving
yeah,
over it so many times. You start exposing rocks and all
yeah,
kinds
you're
of not fun stuff.
constantly
But
doing trail maintenance.
what about for challenges in the wintertime? I mean, like,
Challenges in the wintertime?
yeah, I mean, we've had some
We
days, right?
we've had them. We've had them.
Uh,
Um, everything becomes a challenge.
I
I
mean,
mean,
this winter
just
we were fortunate, right?
this has been a hell of a winter.
Mm.
As far as I mean, on the heating side for the houses, generally
Oh, it's been amazing.
I go through about 3.5 tons of coal
Yeah,
for the coal. This year I
yeah.
went through about a ton and a half, so I literally burned half of what I generally
Oh,
do.
yeah.
So
I burnt half the fuel I normally use. Well, I only went through 1 tank of fuel.
what that is kind of relating to is that the winter's been really mild here.
Oh, it's been
It's been
insane.
what do we have? 1 week of below freezing or below
Yeah,
zero.
I think I can count on one hand the amount of below 0 days there was this winter.
Yeah. So I mean, it was bad for logging, but it
Hmm.
was good on the pocketbook. It was good on the travel.
Yeah. Oh, yes. You don't have to worry about going in the ditch.
Yeah,
But why don't you touch on there for? Oh man, I had a great talking point right there to go off of. Oh, it slipped right away.
that's all right. We'll just keep going on, and maybe it'll come back. So wintertime, you got
Oh, now
chains.
I it came back to me.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, the helpfulness of wintertime compared to summertime for terrain advantage.
Well,
You know what I mean?
this winter has been not
Like, yeah,
not great for that. But yes, normally wintertime is when you make the money. I mean, maybe not the skidder man, the loader man, but the boss man
get into those places that
is
that you can't get in the summertime, right?
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Get
these
into
things
those
are
thick swamps that you would sink right out of sight.
yep. This year everything was a swamp because it just
Yeah,
it freeze, but it would
rain.
never freeze.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
it would scum over. And once you got one of them crap holes opened up, it was a crap hole until you were done it.
Once you had a brown spot, that sun
Yeah,
really beat down on it.
yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah.
even having a mild winter like we did, with the amount of snow that we got, it didn't
Hmm.
matter if we had below zero weather. The
Yeah.
snow would cover the freaking trails up. You'd get
And
the
don't
cold
freeze.
weather, and they don't freeze. So, yeah,
Yep.
freezing in trails was not a
Because, I mean, in the wintertime, when you get, normally January, February, you see, 20, 30 below zeros a lot normally.
yeah,
And, I mean, when you get that trail frozen, it's like a rocket. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. You
You
could
can
freaking
go
have
right to
this
the
thing 12
floor.
mile an hour, freaking
Hmm.
from the loader to the wood, and
You
just
can do that in the
log.
summertime, but you got to be smart about it.
Yeah, yeah. You get into there's a yeah. It's not the same.
Yep. I know one thing, some definite challenges. Remember last winter? 30
Yes, I
below
do.
zero.
Yep,
Every oh
yep,
work all day to get the loader going. As soon as it get going, go home. It's kind of cut your losses at that point.
yep. Then as soon as you get it going, you get freaking maybe through a turn or
Blow
two, and then you're
hose,
blowing a hydraulic line. You're pulling the freaking limber off the front of the.
taking a
I
bath.
mean,
Remember, every one of
it
those
was
hoses was leaking when it was cold on top of
yep,
the boom,
yep.
just from moving. I
And
mean,
you're looking at
I don't think a lot of people realize that don't deal with hydraulics. Those big, huge hoses, they don't move. Like
no,
when you like say if we knew we had to do a hose on the bottom of the skidder or something or a big hose, what would we do with it? We'd warm that thing up and try to work it as fast as we could until it got cold, because I mean, it takes all your strength to try to get something lined up perfect, to get thread started or to get a
Absolutely.
flange flat.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
goes from freaking nice
it goes from a
spaghetti
simple
when it's
job.
nice and warm to
Yep.
friggin'. Well, I mean, look, I got hydraulic oil all over the dash in the truck because we were using the defrosters this winter, just trying to get some of these lines done. I mean,
Yep.
it doesn't matter how really cold it is, but yeah,
Yeah.
everything fights you. Everything fights you.
It adds a whole new challenge. I mean, that one, the winter before you were running that machine there, when
Yep.
I was running it, we had this hydraulic leak that, I mean, it was one of those 5-gallon pail a week, a dribble. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Yep.
take long to go through 5 gallons when it's a dribble that you can't find.
Yep.
Well, one day it was a Saturday, and he was like, I'm going to go in and try to find that hose that's leaking. I said, all right, me too. It was 38 below zero, and we had the salamander going underneath it, and we had it all tarped in. Probably the best working conditions I've ever worked in. It was like 80 degrees underneath the skidder.
Yeah.
We might have been getting some carbon
I
monoxide,
was gonna say.
but
Y'all getting a little
all
loopy
it
too.
was on the side of the transmission, on that way up on the
Yep.
side, there was a freaking Allen plug.
Yes, sir. I had that
And
happen last year.
yep, and it was spraying against the frame rail and running
Yep.
down. That's how we noticed where it was clean on the frame.
Yep.
That's where it was.
Yep, we had that same thing. The O-ring went.
Yep. And I mean, you couldn't. We looked and looked, and
Well, it don't
I had
matter. I
that.
mean, you get in that confined space like that, and especially
Yep.
if it's up above, it
Well, it was the
hit
same
every
leak
single
that we
line.
had in Colton. It was the same leak
Okay.
that we had. No, wait, you weren't there. I'm getting my
No,
timeline messed up here. Getting my timeline messed up. It was when Paul was still there. It was
I'm
when
trying
he
to think of
got
the
done.
leak. We had a leak in Colton too, though.
Yes, we did. It's a skidder. That's the one thing that I hate about skidders
But
is
what
that.
was it with the belly pan? Was that
Yeah, I
wasn't
mean,
that a hydraulic pump? Was that where we figured out that
oh,
the
remember the
hydraulic
hydraulic
pump?
pump came loose?
Yeah.
That was a good one. And I was looking, and I go, "What's this bolt go to?" Start looking around. Oh, the hydraulic pump's about to fall off. Can you imagine if that backed out? But see, this is where we could get into another thing. The different types of machines and working on them. Like loader, the most problem you're going to have is the slasher and the bucket hoses, right?
Every
Teeth.
day. Yep.
But the skidder, when you get a hydraulic hose that's leaking in the abyss of the underneath, and the only way you can get it off is to jack the cab up or take those belly pans off.
Both
That is,
generally.
yeah. And versus other machines, like all the machines generally the cabs tip up. But on a John Deere, I don't know if they changed it, but on the H I ran, all you had was a hole this big right here to reach your arm through to work on anything you had to work on the lower side. So drive shaft, the front drive shaft went one time, and the shaft's only about, it's probably a foot and a
Yeah.
half
Little
long,
stub shaft. Yep.
stub shaft, but it broke off, and you have to try to break bolts loose where you can barely fit your hand in, with a lot of torque on them. Where the Tiger Cat, you can pull those belly pans off and get right to it.
Yep.
That's the one of the big things. I like the removable belly pans. If you have the heavy ones, not the tin ones like you have.
Yeah.
They're all
Last
smashed in.
week I came out to fuel up the skidder, and I usually do a quick greasing and kind
Yep.
of look it over. And my belly pan for my freaking oil pan, I had
Oh,
one bolt holding that sucker in. All the rest of the bolts pulled through the belly pan.
the bolt heads pulled through.
Pulled through.
How did that happen?
I have no freaking. I was thinking they must have been a little bit loose, but I even had to break them off with the impact because the chunk of belly pan was
Yep.
still stuffed underneath the head of the bolt. So I mean I
Jeez.
might have got onto rocks or something like that, but it
I mean,
jarred
it's
it enough.
inevitable. I've hit rocks
Yeah.
at 12 miles an hour before going down a skid trail, and to think, boy, how something's not smashed up. or you run in, or you're not paying attention and you run the axle into a tree,
Yeah,
and you're like, then you think, man, I could have just snapped the whole tire off. It's just like that's some things I think about sometimes. Build
it's
some
it's
tough equipment.
it's a real possibility, especially when you're going down the trail. Your chains, you'll actually pick up freaking anywhere. It doesn't really matter. Anything from freaking 2 inches to freaking 10, 12 inches. It'll
Yep.
it'll throw a log right at the freaking windshield of this. I've got gouges in the windshield from crap coming up. There's a lot of whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
garbage.
yeah,
It'll grab a freaking stick and smash it against the window
yeah,
so hard that it makes your ears ring. That's like when I worked where we had the flail chipper, the clean chipper
yep,
that has those flail chains inside of it, like the Eliminator that Thomas Johnson uses.
yep.
The that had a thing on the front of it that was off of the chute. It was like another little chute that was off of it, and that
Okay,
would catch any big sticks and eject them out the side. It used like there was a paddle on the outside of it was a disc chipper. So on the outside of the disc, like on the back side of it, I think it was there was paddles, and those paddles kick the big sticks out, the rejects. So it would just come flying out and smash against the window.
Spread that last old JTO load. It's on the side doors to scale alpha.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Oh yeah. Now I lost my train of thought.
I'm freaking. I know we were on the chipper.
Yeah,
Crap hitting,
that
but
thing would it would pound those windows, and it was amazing that they took the abuse.
yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
I watch a lot of different Tiger Cat skidding videos, and a lot of guys have got these freaking windows freaking covered up in cardboard and plywood and everything else. It's I think it's the only glass that is in this cab is the side windows.
Yes, and that one has been broken twice in your machine.
Yeah, I still pick glass particles out of here.
Yep. The window on the side of the loader right here on the other one. One day in the summer, the temperature changed so quick. I went to go open the window and it exploded. Something with temperature change.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a lot of different hazards and just I mean it's a lot safer than the old felon and cable, but
Yeah.
still. Did we go over everything?
No, I mean I could still go into a bunch of stuff.
No, no, no. I meant as far as the changes in summer, winter,
Mm,
um,
a lot
batteries.
hotter. The air conditioner always seems to never work.
Yeah, yeah. That's we're lucky enough to have AC, but yeah, generally you can't get it to work. I mean, you got the timberjack. Timberjack's AC works for about 10 minutes, and then the condenser freezes. So you got to usually let
Yep,
that
you got to
dry up for
cycle it
20.
on and off.
Yeah, this one does pretty good. It keeps up pretty good, but you're in a glass freaking oven, so
Yep.
you guys are with the loaders too. I mean,
Oh, that one that you guys have there,
yeah,
that thing never worked. I told him that there was a hose that was leaking right on the compressor. I would sweat so bad last summer. Oh,
yeah.
because I like
Ray
it's
would
nice to
come
have the
out freaking
quiet.
buckets of water coming off them. I think
Oh
there's
yeah.
something wrong with that AC. I said, yeah, that's been down for a while.
Yep. It just needs a hose.
Yeah, just like my seat needs a spring. You see that? I don't even have to click my heels.
That's fancy.
Oh, it's great.
Oh yeah, we're on a mission now. Spreading out a load of wood.
We've got different trees, Benjamin. Maybe you can elaborate on. See, now you've done a lot more bunching. Foresters marking trees, wildlife trees, habitat
Hmm.
snags, that type of thing. You want to elaborate on that stuff? Because that wasn't something I ever heard until I went to the state.
So what do you mean, like when you're cutting in the woods, the different?
Yeah, categories of trees. Generally, I mean, I guess we do get some of them in the wintertime, but generally, I see. Well, maybe it's foresters.
Well,
Like,
the forester, remember he'd put like a W or whatever on the tree, and
seems
that'd be
like
like a wildlife tree. It's a tree they're so big and overgrown. They're literally worth nothing. Like they're worth something, but you're better off to just leave it there. It's got some woodpecker holes in the top of it.
is
It's for the
that a season
animals.
deal though?
No, it's usually at the forester's discretion or the
Is
guy
that
who's running the machine. Like you want to send that big old tree out to the landing. I know somebody who would.
well? I'm just saying, like Landvest when we were working for him,
Yeah, he
he
would
had a
write
lot
wildlife
more.
trees.
He had the that, and then there was like bat seasons or other crap like that.
Oh, maybe. I see. I never really got into it. If he would have, I've probably been there longer. I probably would have learned about it.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of where I was going with it with the maybe it's forester discretion more or less
Yeah,
because like Landvest, he's very much into the wildlife snags and the and
yeah.
bat trees and this that and the other. But when I was working for Lime, everything got cut. I didn't see any of that stuff.
Oh
But
yeah.
now that I'm working for PJ again, I'm seeing more of that again. So
But do you see how all your guys' trees are marked? He goes through and marks just about every tree he wants to cut.
yep, that's that. I guess that answers
It's
my
all different.
question
It
there.
depends on what they're doing. Like, see, he's doing a paint cut. Like he's just saying, cut everything that I've painted and cut whatever you have to cut to get
Yep.
to them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
At your discretion type of thing. Where then there's sometimes where you have a prescription cut where they say, all right, only cut everything that's like 10 inches or whatever in this size, like don't, it all depends. I never had one where I had to leave all the big ones, most of the time they wanted you to cut them.
Whack and
But
stack.
they give you a prescription basically. All right, you can cut this and this and this type of trees, but you got to make your own skid trails, and figure it out on your own.
Now that's one thing that I will definitely say PJ's good at. He lays it out pretty good. Where the last couple we've had, maybe mark 2-3 trees, and that was it.
Yep. I mean, if he knows that you're gonna know what he wants, like, he's gonna know that John is gonna cut what he tells him to do. You know what I mean?
Well, this is a
just
bit
mark him
different
to
job
give him an
too.
example.
Yeah.
Give you an example of this is the type of stuff we want you to cut. Make it similar to this. Or you'll have some where you'll be doing strip cuts. You'll just cut strips. You know what I mean? And leave the uncut stuff in between. There's clear cuts, which we talked about that a little bit. How you can basically, with a clear cut, it's not just a
Let's
bad
go
thing
through
all the
that.
time.
I don't think we elaborated. That's a good conversation right there.
Yeah. Well, okay, you finished saying what you were saying.
Well, just getting into the wildlife trees, this, that, and the other. You bring up clear cuts. What do you see as pros, cons to that versus selective or heavy thinning?
Yeah, I liked cutting clear cuts, but I wouldn't want to be the person who owned that. I had a piece of property and said, "Hey, clear cut this for me because I want the money."
Yeah.
Because it's gonna take a very, very long time. A clear cut's a long-term type of solution to cutting trees because it's gonna take a long time to get a forest again. It's gonna take 20, 30 years before you got something you can cut again.
Now, is there reasons to do clear cuts, or is it just money?
Yeah, it's like, say there's I remember this one time there was this bug or some no, it was the tent caterpillars.
Yep.
The tent caterpillars came through up here in upstate and they were killing all the hardwood trees. So the forestry companies were like, go, and I think they did a 700-acre clear cut because they're trying to get their money before it's ruined. Because you know what I mean. You can use it in that perspective, or use it to prevent the spread of a fungus.
Yep.
You
So
can change the whole habitat by, like, you can do a clear cut and leave trees, seed trees, every so often of a different type than was there, that was fewer, so that you got more of it. Cut
Yep.
all the beech out and leave hard maples, 8-10 inch nice trees that are going to live for the next 20-30 years. Leave those as your seed trees, so that those ones will grow up to be the big ones. You'll cut those ones off, and then your other ones will come up better. You know what I mean? You start that whole process. You
absolutely.
can
So it's a
basically
way to
make yourself a tree farm, but in an area.
exactly. Well, strip of a not producing piece of property, or like you said, tent caterpillars. We had the
Yeah.
ash borer.
Yeah.
What's the other thing? Like this job that we're on right now, this property. I think this is a 400 or 500 acre piece, and the
Yep.
piece across the river was 20 or 30 acres, and this is
Yep.
getting sold to the state.
Yeah.
So
So they're going to cut it hard.
we're doing a heavy cut on this, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's late. I mean, the wood's not producing, but
Well, yeah, that's also due to climate. That area, I mean, if you just look at it driving down the road, you'll see it's kind of a softwood, lowland area.
yeah,
Water settles. That water is what is causing that, I believe. Causing
seems like
that
it's
red rock.
very clay and sand, sandy
Yeah.
soil here too.
Something about it, that neck of the woods where you guys are, it does not produce good cherry. And I mean, I don't know, it's always been that way. But they're definitely going to cut it hard to get their money's worth before they get rid of it. And I don't blame them. I mean, when you have millions of dollars invested into something, you might as well cash out.
Try to get as much as you can out of it, because
Mm-hmm.
you know they didn't get what they wanted from the state. But that's what kind of sucks too, seeing the state get more land.
Yeah, it just it's cool that it's going to be preserved, but I hate, like, you drive in between Saranac Lake, just say, like, Saranac
Yes,
Lake, Lake
yes,
Placid, beautiful
all
country. Everyone
that.
just, I just love the way this looks. And I mean, it's beautiful, but
Yep.
it's just someday it ain't going to be beautiful if it caught on fire or
If it
something
caught
like
on
that. You
fire,
know what I
or
mean?
I mean, you've got these freaking trees that are 150 foot tall.
Oh, I mean, there's just some amazing, like, wood that is going to turn bad. Like, do you know what they could do for the economy of New York State if they said,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to do permits or something, like, or whatever. You're going to let you guys cut the state land in certain spots, certain times a year, whatever, just lightly, have, like, just clear it out some. It would help the economy. It would create, jobs for a lot of people, give them something to do.
Create product.
Yeah, create
You
stuff
know,
right here in our own woods. That,
we have
I
a
mean,
lot of protected
the amount of
areas.
state land compared to the private land that's logged is just outrageous. And
Absolutely.
there's a lot of wood on there. Like, I'm not just like, oh, cut it all. It's nice to
It
keep an
ain't.
area old growth and
Well, it isn't a
looking
matter
nice,
of that either. I mean, you don't
but
have to
it'll look
cut it
that way
off.
really quickly if you do it right and take care of it.
Yeah.
Get someone to come in there and cut out some of them big ones that are gonna turn, and it frees up space for something else to grow up.
Well, you got high tensile, high voltage
High foliage, like in the tree
running
cover.
through there. You've got extreme foliage, and then you got a main road right there. Route 3
Yeah,
is
and what
running right
always
through
happens
there.
every time a
You got
windstorm,
monster trees.
big
Exactly.
giant yellow
Exactly. I
birch
mean,
top
you got,
breaks off and it goes laying across the road.
and then like you said, when you have unmanaged forests like that, wildfires are bound to happen. Everybody and their brother smoke cigarettes, do other things, throw them out the window.
Hiking, they could
Yeah, I mean,
somebody could start a fire. And Like, I'm not using that as an excuse to just, oh yeah, so let's cut everything. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying it as in the fact of there's an opportunity to let some people pick at it. You know what I mean? Let some people pick at it a little bit and get something out of it instead of being greedy, you know? I don't know.
I know exactly what you're saying because I look at California as the example.
Exactly. There's so many beautiful trees and stuff, but like you can have forest fires, but they're be manageable. You know what I mean? There's not all that underbrush,
Yep.
that all that stuff that's laying there to just catch on fire. There's not a bunch of trees laying on the ground and
Well, you'll never get an apparatus through the frickin' woods the way they are, and then God forbid we have a fire, and the apparatuses that have to go in there are D8s, D10s, frickin' excavators, where they're ripping, they're pulling, they're building. You know, they're it's a nonsensical way of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's one of those things where there's millions of dollars of resources that are being pooled into fighting forest fires when it was preventable in the first place, and you could have made a profit off of it. The state could make money off of it too. You know what I mean? They're making money off it anyways by taxing the people's fuel and taxing everything else that's going into it. But they could actually make money instead of waste money. Because all you're doing is wasting at that point when it burns all up. Hey, we could have cut that and made the state money. The forest wouldn't have burnt down. People's homes
Or if
wouldn't
it
have gotten
would have,
burnt.
it would have been a lot easier to manage.
Oh, yes, it would have been manageable. It would have been, oh, we got a forest fire, but we'll put a fire break in here and stop it quick instead of it spreading because there's trees are so close together. There's so much fuel on the forest floor.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, it's just hard because that's why, I mean, I don't want to get into this.
No, we're not getting into that. No.
Government
No,
and stuff like that. I can't do that. But
I can, but I won't.
Exactly. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
I don't care about feelings. I just don't want to put the channel at risk like that for a little bit of talking. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So back on to what about Newsom? No.
Tisk.
Yeah. I don't really know where to lead off with to start something else.
I wish we get some people in here chatting that want to know something.
Oh, we did have Velcro came in, said, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yo.
No comments though. What else? What else we got? I don't know. Just that awkward time. I think we'll have to end her there.
Oh, we can think of something.
What do you got? I'm completely. I know we're gonna be looking at getting rid of the timberjack.
Yes. So, what do you have like a preference on if he was gonna get another skidder? Would you like to see another tiger cat, or would you like to see something different? Would you like to see a cat or a John Deere? I know you'd probably like to see a John Deere.
I'd like to see a John Deere.
Yeah.
I definitely would want to see a cat or the Yoder or whatever the heck they turned into.
Oh, it's a Weiler.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm not making that game.
All it is the brand. It's the same machine. They just put a different sticker on the outside of it. Change the paint color.
No, I watched enough of the Chipper guy and them guys to know that I'm not really the biggest fan of cat.
Like you wouldn't. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like you wouldn't want to try a new. Like I don't know. That's a hard decision because, like, I know that you would like a bigger version of what you have right now.
The 620.
Like a 620 would be a nice size machine. You can get the big tires on them. Where that machine you're running, I don't believe you could. It would never clear the the boxes where the batteries are and the whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I know they feel a lot different.
Oh yeah.
They
Well,
don't turn. They don't. I mean, this is a nice little package.
yeah, because you got maneuverability, you
Yeah,
got
this is
low
extremely
ground pressure.
maneuverable. Yeah,
But what are
yeah.
you lacking? What would you like more of?
It, it's
Ground
a
clearance.
no, ground clearance is pretty freaking good.
That
Honestly,
stopped now since I've gone, right?
yeah, around the same time actually.
Ground clearance got better like a year ago.
Yeah, around the same time. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I don't have high stumpage no more. Um, um, I don't know because the benefit of having more weight with a
Yep.
620, you can get bigger hitches, this that, but I wouldn't get into the places that I do. I don't.
As
Maybe I would. Maybe I would,
you,
but
I mean,
I'm pretty
see,
light footed.
yeah, I like being able to flip that thing around in the middle of the skid trail real quick.
Exactly.
Where,
Exactly.
I mean, I tried a 632 and I've used the 635. It's awesome, you know. Ooh, great big machine, but I hate you need a freaking parking garage to turn the dang thing around in.
Gonna say a freaking tractor trailer size area to turn around, but
I mean, it's
yeah,
awesome. The ground clearance, like I think a 620 would be a perfect machine. You're not getting too big there.
yep.
630s are nice too. I mean, I ran a 630, but once you get up into that range of 632, they're like 4 feet longer.
I was gonna say what you have
I mean,
experience with the 620s
we
and
got into an
630s.
argument about this. Me and my cousin did because he ran a 630.
Yep.
I guess there's not much of a difference, but when it, it's got a longer boom on it, the 632.
Okay.
It's got a bigger grapple. It's got the same size grapple as the six wheeler, but
Mm-hmm.
in a 4-wheel package. But a lot of guys, they see that and they're like, "Oh, I can go do whatever the other skidder's doing because I got more horsepower." But you can't. Them six wheelers are in a class of their own. They
Yep.
ride smoother. There's a big difference, but when you get that, you're getting like a lot more machine than what you got there. That's just easy. You don't have to worry about fitting into an area. You can pretty much fit anywhere the buncher goes.
Yep.
You could sneak up a little trail. I don't know.
Very nice.
That skidder is that you're running is probably the favorite machine I've ever run.
Yeah, it's definitely a little utility knife. I mean,
I mean,
I've went up deer trails with this thing. You
and
know,
I'll tell you one thing right now. That machine there was, if anybody that is watching this is ever thinking about, they're in logging and they're going to get a machine, consider it because you can do high capacity logging with that skidder.
absolutely.
I mean, I ran a 630C, the one with the steering wheel in it and stuff. I couldn't move the loader that is identical to that one that you move with that 610.
Really, must be
And that
weight
had
distribution.
the way that it's set up, like it wouldn't even pick it up.
Oh
It wouldn't
wow.
even, the grapple, the boom wouldn't pick it up. That thing picks it up
Yeah.
easy. You
Yeah. I mean,
you're missing a little weight in the ass, but I mean, most of the time you can get it with that machine.
yep.
Where I couldn't, I wasn't able to move one of those
The
other
only time
machines with
with
it.
this with the loader is weight. You know, I mean, you
If you get
say
into a
you're
soft spot, she starts dragging, right?
well, you
Then
get that, and you get a little bit of front end lift with it.
yeah,
Now the timberjack, which is a lot bigger, a lot heavier, that machine does the same thing. So I don't know if it's just weight distribution on
yeah.
this. When you get that arch forward, this
Well,
thing is rock.
well, see,
You
they
know.
went for like when they had the C's, they're like, all right, we're gonna put as much weight forward as we can. That's gonna help. Well, that 8.3 liter big motor was sitting right in front of the axle. Like the motor was probably 3 feet in front of the axle,
Yeah.
and it did wheelies and it wouldn't pick up. But if you look at it, the back end's short.
Yeah.
They increased
Well,
the
stubby.
length on the back of those machines like you're running and decrease the length in the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They just really designed it well. That I don't know. It's just a nice machine.
it's
For the
extremely
size of
nice.
it can do more things than I ever thought it would do. You know, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go run this little skidder. It ain't gonna do nothing like that 848 I ran. This
Well,
thing right there would skid circles around an 848.
that's what I get
It
a
might.
lot of comments on. You know,
Mm.
your boss should get a 620. Should get this, that, and the other.
But
That
why?
machine's
That
too small for that, and
you know what I mean? You're doing right there what I used to do with an 848 skidder. You know what
yeah,
I mean? I ran an 848 John Deere. That was the biggest, baddest one they had until they came out with a 948. And I could pull the same size hitch with that machine that you're running right there.
yeah. I mean, if
Be
a better,
comfortable and at the same time, you know?
a better question, rather than what machine would I like to see? I mean, I'd like to see what a shovel would do for us, or a stroker delimber. You know,
What do you
some
mean as in a shovel? Like expand on that.
there's some hitches that we get into that are way too much. They take way too much time,
Yo.
and you know, you got to bring out one tree at a time, that type of deal,
Yeah,
depending
because
on
they're
the
in a
ground.
hole.
So
Oh, okay. Yep. I
we
see what you mean.
shovel them up to the skid road and
Get them into an easier spot.
exactly
Like Logger Wade does with the excavator. He'll give them a hand, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
can see that being
even
really
a full
helpful.
time, even a full time freaking buncher man.
Yeah, just making hitches and easier spots for you to get them.
That would be a huge asset. And then a stroker delimber, I think, would just speed up the whole process.
Yo.
However, if you're running a stroker delimber, then you'd almost want to be having a shovel at least somewhat relatively around it, just so there's not so much tracking.
Well, see, you don't need one with the stroke delimber because he
You
can
don't.
move his own wood. You just have to be strategic about it.
That's
A stroke
a
delimber
lot
would
of it.
increase your productivity or raise productivity. He would just be able to, all right, I'm going to pick this log tree up and, you know what I mean? You have them separated in the log tree pile and just pulp trees. So when it comes down to Ray could load right out of the slasher because he could just keep grabbing pulp trees.
Yep.
That all the logs are out of them already. Everything's already pre-processed for him.
Exactly.
That would increase like tenfold.
Like what else? What else? Like this summer, for instance, you give a little bit of props to this little skidder. I was primary skidder for 2 loaders.
Yeah.
You know, and they didn't run out of wood. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the wood wasn't super far, but it wasn't close either. You're looking at maybe
normal size drag,
20,
like a normal
20
distance.
30-minute turnaround time.
Yeah.
You know, for wood. So.
Yep.
But
no, it's
as
definitely
far
a formidable asset.
If we could get another skidder, I would rather be able to customize this one a little bit and give it more cab space.
So you want a 610H?
Yes. Yeah, the one that I see at the logging show last year. I spent a lot of time with them guys.
Yes, that would be amazing.
I'd like to see the gutter style arch that John Deere uses rather than the freaking caverns for the hydraulic lines and whatnot. I'd like to see a little bit longer stick on the arch. I know that would be sacrificing weight distribution and this, that, and the other, but this one does seem a bit short at times.
Yes, I hear you there.
What else? The grapple.
I know more cab space for driver comfortability is the main thing. I mean, you can't even fit your lunch bin. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
those H's though, you can fit. I mean, you can have a party inside.
I think the one they had at the Vermont Expo had a freaking a chill spot for your lunchbox, which I thought was freaking sweet.
They had heated and air conditioned cup holders.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, see, they took the
that's
thing from
that's
pulling the cup holder thing out in the back behind you and doing it that way. Remember?
well, that's going to a different route too. The cruise control. I'd like to see cruise control on this. I'd like to see
Mm-hmm.
the
Cruise
blade
control.
on the left side trigger or the left side joystick.
Yep.
You know,
That would be
just
epic.
little things,
Well, see,
like
I
that.
believe they have like almost like a hot button on there that you can program to whatever you want now.
Yep.
On one of them, I believe.
Okay.
But I believe they did come out. The new ones have a cruise control.
They do have cruise control now.
Oh man.
Yep.
That just puts a smile on my face because your foot gets so tired of being in the same spot. Where you can just put it at a low speed when you're in one of those rocky crap holes.
Yep.
And then just let it crawl.
I know it sounds kind of stupid for those who aren't loggers or even loggers. Probably, you know, our situation with the distance we're traveling. That's where cruise control would really be.
Because a mile,
helpful.
You think a mile's short, but a mile on nothing but boulders.
Yeah. Not to
No
mention
good.
a mile, you're doing that probably anywhere from 8 to 10 times a day. I mean, that doesn't even sound like a lot,
Johnson
but it
would
takes a
have
while.
a stroke if he had to set up. You know, if you ever watched enough of his videos, he says, "I only want to skid this amount of distance with the skidders."
Yep.
Well, when it comes to where we are, mountains and rivers determine your access. So it's kind of you go where you have to, and if you want the wood out, you're skidding a mile, 2 miles. I mean, an hour for one way is nothing.
No.
That's why when they were like, "Oh, you guys are so spoiled with air conditioning and enclosed cab." Yes, I am very spoiled, but I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm gonna turn the AC off because I'm tough. No, I got my heated seat on and the AC on right now, so because my back is sore and I'm hot. So call me I'm a joystick princess.
Yeah, they call them Velcro asses, don't they?
Something. But I mean, yeah, you could do it with an old 640 John Deere, but I'm definitely going to take the nicer, more comfortable machine any day of the week.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just makes
comfortable,
it more
comfortable to be a skidder is kind of a harsh. I don't know.
When you don't have AC and the windows don't move, and the windows don't open like a buncher.
Yeah.
I mean, I did that. It was 90 degrees outside, and you get out of the machine after basically sitting in your underwear, sweating, and drinking a gallon of water, and you were freezing outside, and it was 93 degrees outside. That is where I draw the line.
Oh, well, we've all dealt with it. There's things you got to do. You know, I run.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes when it's just do it until the AC pump gets in.
I didn't have that opportunity. Last summer was freaking hot. We were, I think it was mid-July, August. We were doing the cherry block job, which is over by Thompson's place.
Yep.
And the Tiger Cat was sitting out on Goldsmith Road for the 2 months, and I was in that timberjack, and that freaking thing, I mean, it smokes like a freaking chimney.
You love that baby, remember? I still do.
I still do. But in the summertime, that thing's an absolute oven. And then you want to roll the windows down or put the windows down. And you got to have 6 pair of earplugs in, and you might as well wear a mask because you're going to be black by the end of the day. So
I mean, when I was running that loader raisin, I mean, all I wanted to do was be able to shut the door so I didn't have to breathe in the dust and listen to the machine. But
yeah, and that's a steady freaking run all day.
Yep.
Oh, I want to go in the woods. Oh.
You can sneak.
I know.
Nobody will even notice.
I'm pretty close right now. I don't know if it'll. Yeah, it will. we're sneaking closer and closer. But like I said, I'll show you guys, for those of you that are watching, what the trail looks like here. I haven't actually looked at it today. But we'll
Where are
take a
you in the
little.
woods?
Yeah, I'm in the woods right now.
Oh,
Yeah, I
bad
know.
boy.
Spank my. Yeah.
I'll turn you in.
Let me just take a look at how the trail's looking here. Okay, so you guys see we're up on a hill right now. We drop into the belly. I think I see a fish jumping down there. I don't know if I can. No, I can't zoom in. But right about here's where the water starts. The whole trail's freaking
Oh, really?
underwater. So
Yeah, you can't see it that good in the camera.
no. But yeah,
Camera doesn't do justice.
she's a swimming pool, so we're stuck at the landing.
I'm telling you, sometimes you gotta do a controlled drain.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Black Ops logging.
Who?
It's Black Ops logging.
Oh,
It's a silent craft.
I don't know. I heard PJ was going to Florida, so
Good
I
for
wonder
him.
if anybody will be coming around next week.
Yep.
But this is the. I'll show you guys real quick here. This is what it is. Well, it's not really. Let me get back here a minute. This is how the ground is. Oh, I gotta unplug this and unplug that and plug this in. And, oh,
Complicated.
yeah, the ground's dry around, and then as soon as you frickin' drive in there, right to baby shit mud.
Oh yeah, that's fun stuff.
You see it on the tires, and the ground looks
Gooey.
nice and dry. It's not. Another week.
Yeah, another couple weeks. I mean, usually when we shut down in March, and we usually didn't go back till May. That's the general rule. May is when people will start going back in the woods again. You know, you guys can probably get away with it earlier, but that's usually when they unpost roads, so you can go on town roads.
Yep.
So usually about 2 months off.
That's what it was around last year.
Yep.
Once we got out of frickin' Long Lake, which I was ready. I was so ready for a vacation. That Long Lake job kicked my butt.
Yep.
That was so frickin' bad with rocks.
If I had to deal with that right now with the way my back feels, I would not be very happy.
Yeah, I think if you had a good back, you'd have a bad back by the time you got done that anyway.
One of my old bosses always said, somebody's always in the shit, no matter where it is. It's either the guy on the landing's getting screwed,
yep,
the buncher's in a rock field, or the skidders are in a rock field.
Yep.
So it's either the loader man can't keep up, or the loader man has nothing to do.
With you being the loader man on that job, what'd you think?
I like have nothing to do.
Yeah, that was a rough
It's
one.
nice to take a break. When you get Big Wolf pounded,
yeah,
it changes a man.
Well, Big Wolf didn't shine a light on Long Lake.
That you just didn't. It was wet there.
No,
I skidded the first hitches out of that one.
We had highways at Big Wolf. You know what I mean?
This was
Long
goat trails, mud goat trails.
Was freaking all the mud. I was praying for mud on Long Lake because
I had to skid a lot on that job too.
Yes, you did. I mean that job freaking completely. I don't know how to
remember that long draw up to the top.
Yeah.
That long draw up that hill, and then you had to try to make the turn on the landing, and the landing was on a cliff.
Yep.
Yep.
That was
in order
horrible.
to get the slash, you had to drive up the mountain and pray that the loader man paid attention.
Yeah, there was a couple times you dropped trees right on top of me.
I mean, because the trees are over the top of you. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a job. John said the last job was good learning job. I think that Long Lake job was more of a learning job.
What was
that?
Was the last job? Oh, with a big hills, a good challenge.
It was so steep, and I think it was more of a challenge for him. I mean, with cutting it, because he was talking, you ain't never been on ground like this, blah blah blah. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, we got some sketchy spots. I mean, especially being a soft winter.
I've been on ground like that. Go over to what was that job there? For Rockefellers. That was so steep that John wouldn't let anybody else cut it because he tipped the buncher over end over end.
That was the one he tipped the buncher over. Yep.
End over end. Cartwheel down the mountain. They had to get an excavator to flip it back over. I wish I had a camera then.
Right?
I don't know how happy the boss man would have been.
Oh boy, yeah.
Look at this, guys. What an unfortunate day for boss man. You're fired.
Yeah, you would not have been around no longer. I don't think it would have been an impact wrench coming at you.
It would have been a camera up your beep.
Yeah, John don't put up with much when he's mad. No.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a pretty good spot to probably wrap things up. What do you think?
I think so too. I got the last hitch out of here. I'm just picking up tops right now.
71 minutes, right on time. What time is it?
Right now it is 2:40. Yeah, so we got another 50 minutes.
Oh wait, I was half an hour early today. Stopping at 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up there, guys. Sorry it wasn't. Well, it was good. We got into a lot of discussion. We just got that little dry spell in the middle. I'll edit that part out.
It wasn't even a dry spell. It was what, 30 seconds of not talking?
Awkwardness. Trying to figure out where to bring the conversation. But
it's all right. I lead the horse to water.
Come
on, horse.
We'll catch you guys next time. Thank you all for watching. God bless you all. Bennerman, send us out.
Keep it legit.